Hi, I'm Jamie Sorcher for AV Network. Thank you for watching. Joining me today for a conversation is Jay Crutti, Engineering Manager for IO Audio Technologies, a division of Knight Electronics. Jay, you're heading to Infocomm and you have a lot of new products. So what will you be showing when you're there?
Sure. So we have two new products I'm really excited about. One of them is called the Thread Saver. This is an interesting product because as an audio engineer who has done a lot of work in recording studios, we tend to do a lot of work with microphones. So like here's an example of what they call a condenser microphone. Condenser microphones are some of the highest quality mics available. I mean, despite our best efforts to really cherish and baby the mics as much as possible, this threaded junction here tends to get close to the wear and tear for the microphone, and that's really unfortunate because, I mean, for instance, this shock mount itself, I mean, this particular one may be $50 to replace. Some of them can be hundreds and possibly even thousands of dollars. So this little threaded part tends to get the most abuse. And unfortunately, when that gets damaged, sometimes your only option is to replace the entire assembly. So we've come out with a part called the Thread Saver. And you can kind of see here, its whole function is just to be an insert that goes into the shock mount, the threaded part of the shock mount here. And its purpose is to be sacrificial. In other words, if this junction is going to be the spot where the most wear and tear occurs, why not have that wear and tear be borne by a $10 to $20 part rather than the entire $100 shock mount needing to be replaced. So it may seem like a simple piece, but it really does an important job in helping you to maintain this precious asset. Because recording studios, I mean, you may have 50 microphones, for example, that could have a shock mount that's very expensive. So it may seem like a silly thing, but it's truly a great piece for preserving your investment in this product. And unfortunately, it's been off the market for a long time. There were several manufacturers who made this years ago, but all of them have stopped producing them. So we were lucky to seize upon this market opportunity and bring this part to the market for sale again. So like I said, it's called the Thread Saver. Its whole job is to, take the damage that would otherwise occur to your microphone shock mount or clip. And that's all it does. It's a really simple thing. It's made of stainless steel. It won't corrode. It's got a nice knurled, thumb part here so you can tighten it in. It's really kind of a simple idea, but it's essential to any recording studio.
Well, sometimes the smallest technology can have the biggest impact, right?
Right, exactly. So that's one product we're really excited about. We're hopeful that many studios and audio facilities will see the value inherent in it. And like I said, it's a small investment to protect a much larger one.
Makes total sense. What does low smoke zero halogen mean, and how does your new Cat6 cable differ from the current offering in the marketplace?
Sure. We have made both solid and stranded Category 5 and Category 6 cables for a while now here at IO Audio Technologies. So this is it's kind of a product improvement. And what we're looking at is there's some new developments in the marketplace, primarily coming out of Europe, where manufacturers are starting to use new formulations of the actual jacketing material here. This particular formulation, called low smoke zero halogen, what it really is that it's a safer material to use for the jacketing, to where if this wire is exposed to flame, any jacketing material is going to give off some smoke, air contaminants. But the idea here is to use a material that will not be toxic. I mean, the last thing you want to worry about if you're in, a building or a facility that's got a fire is, not only are you trying to escape and get away from the fire, but you don't want the actual cabling installed in the building emitting toxic fumes that could cause you, injury or death just from that. So this is a product, it's really a new thing, like I said, mostly coming out of Europe, but we're one of the first manufacturers here in the States to start building with this type of material. But it's really just a non-toxic way of making a cable jacketing. So it's just meant to give you greater safety. And, this really is a much bigger benefit than it seems, because, there's a lot of people that use category 5 and 6 cables in what I would call less than perfect circumstances. Like, I can't tell you how many churches and recording studios and even residential homes I've seen where some people will buy this type of cable and just run it, through walls unprotected, or, it may be accessible, like out in the open sometimes. So you really, if you're going to install this in less than perfect circumstances and with less protections than a commercial facility would usually have, you want to have something that's going to give you an extra layer of safety. That's really what's happening here. This jacketing material is designed to not poison you or, try to not harm you while you're in the worst possible circumstance of a fire in a facility. So it's just a safer jacketing material. Like I said, it's really becoming the new standard. In fact, the United States is just starting to really catch up to this technology and begin to create standards around it and recognize it for UL and things like that. So it's kind of a new thing, but we would rather stay ahead of the curve, rather than investing in kind of what some people would call tried and true PVC type jacket. We're trying to get a little ahead of that curve, and because this material tends to be long-lived. When you install this type of cabling, I mean, like here at our office, we have cabling now that's over 20 years old from when we built the building. This stuff tends to have a very long life, and we want to have the top of class safety attributes available in the product, because it may be out there for a long time. So that's the low smoke zero halogen. We're really taking our existing characteristics and benefits and just added that new kind of special sauce into the mix there.
Okay, special sauce. I like it. Why is there a need for a 4-pin XLR? Where is it used? What makes yours better?
Sure. Well, so we have had a lot of existing XLR connectors. Like, I'll show you some examples here. Like, this is an existing 3-pin design we have.
Okay.
So XLR is the style of connector. It's really been the standard in audio connections for many decades now. These XLR connectors come in different pin configurations and number of pins. So we've expanded that line recently to add 4-pin connector varieties. And 4-pin is really, it's a little bit of a niche, but it is, a product category out there. 4-pin tends to be used for a lot of low voltage signal applications, like specialized industrial signaling in, say, a factory or production facility. But it's also used in Pro AV for power. Many professional video cameras for, say, like news gathering, broadcast use 4-pin XLR as their power connection. This connector also sees some use in aviation. A lot of aviation headsets will use the 4-pin variety of XLR. So it's a very common type of connector, but the 4-pin variety, a little bit more niche, but there are some certain industries that have used this extensively. So we're really expanding the line to try to, capture that market segment, add some offerings to the mix. And, XLR is great because it's a very durable product. I mean, it's got a locking mechanism. You can even get them in, IP rated varieties in some cases. So it's a very durable yet easy to use connection. It tends to be a lot less expensive than other competing solutions like circular connectors. So it's a very simple thing to use. It can be used for almost any low voltage type of application. So we're really expanding that line, trying to offer, more solutions there. And, we've got various varieties here. For instance, we have the cable connector, which you can see here in both male and female varieties. We have a chassis connector here that's designed for kind of a bulkhead or panel chassis mount. We also have PCB type connectors. So this is designed to actually mount to a printed circuit board and, for a solder type application. It's really an expansion of our existing line and trying to meet that market segment.
What makes IO audio different? A lot of companies out there. What's your special sauce with you guys?
Sure. Well, for us, it really comes from our culture here at Knight Electronics. I mean, look, as you said, there are many companies out there that make connectors and some of the other products I've shown you today. What's different about us is that we're very approachable. We are customer focused. I mean, some of our competitors, they have incredibly broad and deep product lines. But if you have a question about the product or you need support, they're not going to answer the phone if you call. I can't pick up the phone and call the engineer manager at one of my competitors and, get some detailed conversation going about the product. That's just not the kind of support they offer. So what's unique about Knight Electronics and IO Audio Technologies is that we're very responsive, where we actually try to meet the customer and their needs where they are. We're not trying to design products and then patent them and kind of force them down the throat of the market. I mean, we want to be responsive to the market. We want to work with people. I mean, people can call our main line and get me on the phone in 5 seconds. So you can really kind of get direct to the manufacturer, and we like that. In fact, I mean, it's not an impediment to my day to speak to a customer. In fact, to us, it's the best part of business, that I can talk to the people who use our product. I can find out, what solutions they need, and we're nimble enough to bring those solutions to market very quickly. So I would say that's what's different about us, that for more than 40 years, that has been the difference with us. Our website, ioaudiotechnologies.com. We have data sheets, engineering drawings. We even have links to purchase the products directly through the site or through our major distributor partners. So there's many ways you can get the product and learn about it. And like I said, if you have a question that's not addressed there, give us a call. We're happy to converse with you and try to meet you with where you are and whatever you need.